gentlemen, welcome back. I'm your host, Just Dave, just a regular dude from the SWAT, and we are here at the Still Save Show where we sit down with some of the coolest individuals who have some of the dopest, inspiring stories of change and transformation you have ever heard in your life. And boy, do I have a story for you today. It is about to go down. I got the Hooper himself. That's right, my homie Dakarai Akil is in the building. What it do, baby?
What's up, man? What's up?
And man, it's going down. We about to break down the breakthrough in this mug, man. I'm super excited because I think, bro, take me back. We met, I believe it was during like a Q&A for the Dirty Third.
Yes. Yeah. Just released MLK Day.
Yeah, man. I'm super excited because I think I told you, bro, like it's super nostalgic for me as a Houstonian. I remember when it came out the first time, the second one, and to be a part of the third one. Like, tell me a little bit about your involvement in that project.
So I actually played the lead, Zaire, that Street's grandson, and Third Next Generation. It was a challenging role because it was a lot on my shoulders. I mean, Rick and them pulled me to the side and told me how big it was. Yeah. Even just remembering growing up how big it was a pivotal moment for me. People don't know I actually waited in line 6 hours to even audition for that role.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, so
see, I didn't even know they had auditions, man. I'm low key upset now because I could have been a part. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, no. Hey, it seemed like all of Houston was out there, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I honestly didn't even know about it. Like my homie Smoke, he hit me up a DM. He said, "Man, they got an audition. You need to go out there for." So I was like, I ain't got nothing going. I'm door dashing at the time, so I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go through, get my headshot and come on, closed mouths don't get fed. So I went up there and I seen how many people were there, and I thought it was some type of convention in town or something. And I went to the sign-in sheet, and they said I was number 43 on the 5th page. I was like, oh, damn. So they got the whole city out there, and honestly, I actually met my lady there too, by the way. So she before at the time, we didn't really know each other then, but she actually encouraged me to stay.
Yeah. So you was gonna burn off?
Man, let me tell you, I just felt like it was about to be a waste, in my opinion, because it was just like I wasn't known, and I didn't really have anything under my belt, so I felt a little discouraged at that time for the first time, because I knew what I was capable of, but I was like, man, I don't know if this is it. And soon as I asked for a sign, came through. You know what I'm saying? Just encouraged to stay. So I stayed it out. Even whenever they said we ain't taking no more auditions, shoot, I snuck over to the room. I got ready. Yeah. And lo and behold, I came in. I saw Rick. I saw Miss K. I saw Noah. TJ. It was a lot of them in that room. And I had a little nerves at first, but shoot, as soon as I gave them my paper, they told me to read, and it was a wrap after that.
Man, that's funny, man. I don't care who I have on the show, whether it's a pastor, an athlete, an entertainer. Typically, it all starts with a girl. It all starts with a girl. It's so funny how that works out.
That's gotta be truthful, man. For real.
I don't know where we'd be, bro. I don't know where we would be. That is amazing. I didn't know that story, bro. To be 43rd like that, man, to stick it out, to wait it out, because I can imagine, bro. It could be discouraging. It's like, man, you don't know what the rest of the talent pool looks like.
Exactly.
What their rosters are, what their credentials are.
Exactly.
What they look like. Do I even look the part?
Do I even look the part? Exactly. That's
right.
You're right.
So that's a big testament to your ability to stick it out, man. But you right here from Houston, dog.
Yeah. Born and raised, man. Born and raised. My moms went to Worthing. Shout out to Worthing.
What's up? A little flip in the building. Where my man Flip at?
Yeah, man. So that's my roots, man. I actually grew up, played on AAU teams, like Houston Hoops, D-Gibb Hoops. Been in Houston a while, man. Yeah. And even went to college right at Sam Houston, which is right up the street.
Right up the street.
After I graduated, I came right back here. So
yeah, because you got a pretty interesting story, right? Now we're gonna talk about this new project you're working on now. Not working on, it's done.
It's
right?
done, yeah.
New movie, The Hooper.
Yes.
Which a star-studded cast, a lot of local favorites that we are very familiar with. Like who else is a part of the movie?
So man, where do I start? We got, man, I gotta go look down at the poster for a second because we got.
I'm just saying because I think I saw Steve Francis in that joint.
So we got Steve Francis. Shout out to Steve Francis. He made he made a cameo appearance into it. Definitely gave film that much more flavor to it.
Yeah.
We got my boy Rome, who came in and killed as the antagonist in the story, which we'll talk about later. We got Alexis Simone. We got Trey Nubb, my boy Trey Nubb.
Yo, that's my dog.
You know, hey, he gave that film some.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna love his character.
Bro,
I know that for a fact.
Trey, everything he touches, bro, is gold. It's gold. But man, I mean, you're killing it in the film space, acting. You've been winning awards.
Yeah.
I can imagine this project is going to receive a ton of recognition, some accolades. I'm foreseeing that right now, bro. We put it in the atmosphere.
Man, appreciate that.
But film wasn't always a part of the picture.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
True that.
And, you know, going back to the title of this new project, The Hooper,
yeah.
I hear you got some game, dog.
Hey, a little bit.
You know, so was that the original plan, bro? Was to
be honest, people don't know, and only select few people knew. I said that I was going to use basketball as a tool to do what I eventually really wanted to do.
Right.
Now, the first thing that really drew my attention, my parents sent me this all the time. When I was a toddler, I used to crawl around the TV trying to figure out how people got inside.
Really?
Really. And from then on, I just knew I always had a passion for the art of entertainment, film, TV, you know, just everything. And the truth be told, my parents, they didn't really know, especially, you know, Houston wasn't always what it was right now.
Right.
You know how we have... We have so many movies and so many different filmmakers coming out here.
We're barely scratching the surface.
We barely scratching the surface.
Yeah, we're starting to get the recognition that we deserve.
True. Resources, right, all of that.
We are contending.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's to a point to where we started off with one of those, they were trying to get me into one of those agencies that say, hey, we can make your kid a Disney star, you know? So I never forget, they signed me up down there. Did a few modeling gigs, nothing really, you know, scratched the surface or brewed any opportunities, and I just saw my people just kind of wasting money. So it got to a point to where I had to decide basketball or this, you know.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you know, my father, he went to Tech for football. My mom, she went to U of H. I got a lot of cousins and relatives who've done a lot in the sporting side. I never really had anybody in the entertainment side. So I had to take my cards, what was dealt with me, and try to use them to the best of my ability. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do the best that I can do right here, and I'll set this down for right now because I know this is temporary. I set this back in 6th grade. I still remember this because before then I was doing plays. I was starring in them. I did the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Lit that. I did Sister Act 2 back in the Habit at the Ensemble.
When you were young.
When I was young. Yeah. I mean, I always had this passion for it, man. I always had a passion to be out front. I mean, even though I always had the butterflies and jitters, I always was ready to be frontline and center, you know. But I know I had to put that on hold because it's a lot of money that's involved in that. And truth be told, we're not coming from that type of financial situation where it can be like, hey, I want to do this, and they can pay for it.
I tell people a lot of times, bro, when it comes to like those types of dreams, even marketing, businesses, right? Money, it does make things a little easier, bro. It's like a runway. When you think about it, if you think about airplanes, right? The more money you have, the shorter the runway to get off the ground.
Exactly.
You know, if you got a ton of money, shoot, you like a helicopter, bro. You just lift off the ground. You can open up some doors. But the less money you got, the longer that runway seems to be.
Exactly.
You'll eventually get off the ground if you keep traveling, right?
You
know, at some point you'll build the momentum you need, the velocity, all these other big words that are required to get the airplane in the air. You know what I'm saying? But
you're right.
The less money, the longer the runway.
Exactly.
And I can see that.
And it's just to a point to where, you know, for those who've played AAU before, you know how expensive AAU is.
Bro, my kid's in AAU right now, dog. Like, don't remind me, dog.
Exactly. So you got AAU and then you got entertainment. Two of the most, in my opinion, especially as a kid, outside of my sister did cheer. I know it was a lot of money involved in that as well, but it was so many different things going on. I was like, you know what? I'm going to put my all into this.
Yeah.
So
basketball, right?
Basketball. I put my all into basketball. Honestly, growing up, it was literally eat, sleep, drink basketball, stay in the books. If I brought home anything lower than a C, definitely getting handed to her by Kenneth Charles Henderson. You know?
Come on. We don't want that. We don't want that.
We don't want that. I mean, really, if I brought anything lower than a B,
Straight up.
But it just is what it is. But I'm glad I had that discipline growing up. He was hard on me. He was tough on me. He the one who instilled that work ethic.
Yeah.
You know, because seeing my parents, and both of my parents, they're not from well-off situations, but they took their cars and they built with them. You know, my mom came from 8, 9 sisters and brothers, you know, 2-3 bedroom home. My pops, 6, 7 brothers and sisters, you know, same type of situation. But they grow, like everybody in my family, they all grew from that. Mm-hmm. So learning from them and that work ethic, that just really instilled in me. I mean, he was hard on me growing up, none the least, and I love that, you know, because he was preparing me for more than just basketball.
Come on.
You know, and the moment I realized that was whenever I graduated college.
Really?
And I was really out there on my own.
Yeah.
Because
so hold up, man. Because did you completely put acting, film, entertainment on the back burner, or did you dabble a little bit? Like, did you ever get like flirt with it?
To be honest,
pulled back into that realm.
I got pulled back for a moment my senior year in high school.
Yeah.
Whenever I was in my broadcasting class, we had like this ETV where we pretty much come up with different stories and skits and things, and that kind of helped my creative juices. But what really, really sparked it was when I went to college. Yeah. Met I always hung out with upperclassmen, and one of my homies, D, shout out to D, he came to me. He was already in film class. You know, when you're a freshman, you got to take the regular courses before you can get to your elective. So, to your major. So he came to me with a film idea, and he said he hate to write, and I told him how I really wanted to get in the film, do this, and he told me I just need like 10 pages. Went home that night, came back with 70. He said, "What I'm supposed to do with this?"
Hold on. First of all, somebody come to me and be like, "Hey, I just need 10 pages." I'm sitting there like, "All right, man, I'm about to go Google." They got that new chat. You seen that new that AI chat app? I'm gonna be on that mug. Like, I wrote a book. It's almost 200 pages, bro. But don't get it twisted. I don't like to write. Yeah. You said he asked for 10 pages, and you gave him how many?
I gave him 70 because I just got so into it. I was like, man, somebody actually asked me to write a script. Now, I didn't even know how to really write a script.
Right.
So I'm just writing. So this is not even with the right format and everything. But that ended up being my first film out in college, Strange in the Dark, and went back since.
Yeah. Nah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. And I can see the passion and everything you do, the roles that you've played, and the fact that you're taking on this new movie right here, The Hooper, which will be out really, really soon. I can't wait to watch it. As a basketball fanatic and a lover of film, I was in theater when I was in high school.
Okay.
That's how I got bit by that acting bug.
Yeah.
I grew up in A-Leaf, man, the only white kid in an all-black neighborhood, and the way they got me into play is because they needed a white cast member, and I was the only one around, so they suckered me in.
Okay.
But dog, this journey hasn't been easy.
Oh no, not at all.
You know, there's been some ups, there's been some downs. You know, you're a young dude with some credentials behind your name. Yeah. Take me back, bro, to maybe, you know, a moment in time where people weren't calling, asking you to write scripts. Yeah. People weren't, you know, hailing your name because of the movie premieres. And, you know what I'm saying? And getting the big roles. Like, take me back to one of those moments where it was just like, man, I don't even know if this is worth it.
Man, honestly, I can take you back to pre-pandemic to post.
Come on.
So
we was all going through it.
We was all going through it, man. Just thinking about it, everybody just thinking, man, I was going through it. I was working in Enterprise at the time, and I was a car salesman. You know, I moved up the ranks. I won a lot of awards, selling. I mean, anything that I'm doing, people don't know, I've done a lot of, you know, a lot of work. But when it comes to Enterprise, I worked with them for about 3 years. But I wanted to really get my teeth into the filmmaking, and I never forget. I ended up just saying, you know what, I'm gonna take about 10 to 20,000. I'm gonna produce my own 3 short films, and then we just gonna go from here. And then never forget, July hit, and I ended up quit my job. They didn't let me go. This is in the height of the pandemic. Remember whenever people trying to hold on to something.
Yeah.
I'm leaving something that's paying some really good money.
Right.
But it's just to a point to where I just saw so much, death around me and everything going on. I said, if we going out, I'd rather go out doing something I actually love doing. So it was to a point where I said, I just spread my wings. Never forget, I talked with the guy that actually shot the Hooper at the time. We were talking about collaborating. We had never met before. My boy Deontay Gray, shout out to him. We were talking on the phone. I never forget, I was in the cubicle. And, I come to the same cubicle every single day. Everybody talking about the same thing every single day. And it was just felt like the walls getting a lot closer and tighter. I'm like, man, I need to get up out of here. And I never forget, I didn't even give them a 2-week notice or nothing. After that phone call, I got so much reassurance from not only him, but a lot of other close friends of mine. I just went off and I said, you know what? I'll double down on myself any day. Because if I can work this hard and make somebody else this much money, I can do this for myself. So that's exactly what I did. And I'll be honest, I jumped and I hit my head.
I was going to say, man, like, you sound like you got a lot of passion and a lot of zeal, right? Yeah. But sometimes that passion is met by a brick wall.
You do? It is. Hey, you got to learn. But, wise man once told me you got to go through a few L's before you get that first W.
Oh, for sure.
So.
You think about the NBA, bro. You're a basketball player. It's 82 games. It's very rare. No, nobody has ever won all 82 games.
At all.
You know what I'm saying?
Not even the best.
Not even the best. So, you got to take a few L's on your way to that championship. But my bad, keep going.
Exactly. No, you good. Mm-hmm. So, where I took my L's, I was going through it with a previous situation and financial troubles and started getting eviction notices for the first time.
Yeah. And hey, let's sit right there for a second because honestly, bro, I've been there, as an entrepreneur. I still remember the day I went full time, right? Mm-hmm. It was after my sister passed, my sister and my grandmother. Mm-hmm. And I was like, life is short, right? Why am I sitting here talking about, I'm going to do it now, I'm going to do it now, I'm going to do it now. They didn't get that chance.
Exactly.
I still have that chance. And I know a lot of other entrepreneur friends of mine that I've, helped kind of talk over that ledge, right? And say, hey, let's jump. Exactly. Let's jump. And we all know what it's like to be like, all right, well, rent's due. Mm-hmm. And none of us really took the leap of faith with 50, 60, 80 to 100K in the bank.
Exactly. Not at all.
We left behind salaries. We all had families, kids, you know what I'm saying? So there's people who are listening right now who are like, dog, should I take this leap? Should I not? Should I wait? Or I did just take this leap and I'm scared, bro. Yeah. Like, that's where they are right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And really when I took it, people ask me all the time, is it worth it? I say, at least do a game plan. That's what I tell you, because I didn't game plan. I just went on a whim. And it was going good for a while. And then, that brick wall came. But, tough times don't last.
What was that brick wall?
That brick wall, honestly, like I said, eviction notices, I lost my car. Mm-hmm. My car got repoed, and I got eviction notices around the same time I was about to see myself for the first time in the theater. Literally the day before. So all this stuff happened the day before I was supposed to see myself in the theater, and people see me, they like, man, hey, congratulations. They don't know what I just went through.
Oh, of course not.
I got the smile on my face, cameras, but you can't. Mm-hmm. It's hard to be vulnerable, especially as a black man,
right?
In today's society, and you learn to put a lot of stuff inside and put that mask on.
Oh yeah,
sure. J. Cole talked about it a lot. That's why he's my favorite artist. And it's just to a point to where it's like I put that mask on. I knew I was going through it, but I just felt like all of this was for a reason.
Come on.
Because I just had the worst possible time of my life happen. Yep. And this has happened. My car got repoed while I was filming my first feature film.
Bro.
So it was like it was
car getting repoed. You be like, hey man, I need to get a ride to this to this shoot real quick. Can you come scoop me? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, man, it was rough. But then I managed to really hustle up. I remember I got my DVDs. I went and hustled up DVDs. I was in front of everywhere. Turkey Leg Hood, all down Alameda. I went down Pearland, Southeast Houston, North Houston, selling them. Ended up mustering up enough to have my own first premiere at Cinemark in Pearland, where I used to actually go watch films growing up by myself, just getting inspired by that. and being able to sell out 2 shows at that point, it was just to a point where it's like, okay, I did this, and I did this with little to no help. Let me see what I can do with more. So honestly, I took a step back even then. Like, I just had this pivotal moment, and people were like, what's next?
Right.
And honestly, I was at that moment where I was like, I don't know. And I prayed about it, and God said, take the step back. Now you just need to act. Because I was directing, producing, writing, doing all that. And of course, it was taking a lot of time, money, energy, and effort, and a lot of resources that I didn't have. It's time to connect the dots. Let's be smart about this.
Come on. There you
go.
go.
It's just to a point to where I took 2 steps back and started being PA on set, which started leading me to being background extra, which led me to starting to audition for certain things and people seeing what I can actually do and what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
Along this journey, that's whenever Dirty Third came up. That's whenever Induce came up, which was, well, it's still on the most popular on Tubi, Horrors.
Really?
Induce. Yeah, that was actually my first official feature film that I did, that I led in.
So when you doing all this though, bro, like you going through the eviction notices, because I done been there. Like we can laugh about it now, you know what I'm saying? But I remember the anxiety and the depression that creeps up when you get that eviction notice. Or I've even had, I've had cars taken away. Like, no lie, dog. I still remember to this day. That is the worst feeling in the world, walking out of your house and you're like, where my car?
What?
And you know where it's at. Like, but you somehow you pretend and you act stupid, right?
Exactly.
But you know that it came and got your car.
Exactly.
Dog, how, like, you know, because obviously, like, what did you have to do, like, in order to climb out of that?
To climb out of it, honestly.
You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I'm sure, like you said,
I had
retreat, or is it like go get like, like side hustle? Like, because you still got to pay the bills.
The thing is, when adversity comes, you throw the towel in, it's just going to get worse. It's just to a point to where, you know, you never know how far you'll get if you stop right there. So I was to a point to where I said, okay, I'm at rock bottom. We've been here before. There's only one way up.
Yeah.
You know? So I started doing so many different things. Started door dashing.
Come on.
You know?
That's what I
started
hear,
Ubering.
bro.
I started Uber Eats. I started doing Postmates.
And you know why
training.
I asked you? You know why I asked you?
What's that?
Because a lot of folks aren't vulnerable enough to share that. 2, it's a lot of folks out there that think, okay, I got this dream that's beneath me. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like that. Nah, bro, I ain't finna go Uber. I ain't finna DoorDash, dog. Like, I'm an actor. I got
as long as you get money, I don't see what the problem is.
Come on,
you feel
dog.
me? You get money. Why you worried about how the next man
you have to fund the dream.
You have to.
Somehow, some way. And all of us ain't got like no silver spoon.
Exactly.
You feel me? Some uncle who left some bread behind.
At all.
We gotta like muster it up.
Exactly.
So but keep going, man, because that's gonna bless a lot of people.
Nah, for real. I mean, I did a lot, but besides the mobile travels and things, I did a lot of training. Picked up a lot of side gigs. You know, like some of the like the temp jobs and things of that nature. Did a lot. Even got into coaching. Yeah. You know, so it's just I started creating different lanes of avenue of revenue and started realizing, okay, I have more than one than I did when I was at one job, only getting one stream depending on one person.
Yeah.
That started teaching me to expand my mind and knowing that, you know, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income.
Come on, let's go.
So you got to start somewhere. So I feel like that knock off the horse had me like, okay, this where you got to be. This
I was depending on this one.
Exactly.
He knocked me off and I found 6 more.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You feel me? So it's just to a point to where it taught me a lot. I mean, from doing that to like even with this film, you know, with the Hooper, the average film in Hollywood costs anywhere between $1 and $100 million. We filmed this with less than $40,000 in only 8 days.
Come on, dog.
8 days and less than $40,000.
Man, what's the next movie, bro? I'm trying to be. I got a couple ideas, dog. You know what I'm saying? We need to.
No, I'm not saying that. Now, yes, we still in the beginning stages out here in Houston. We still trying to get more resources, still trying to get more funding. But when you don't have a lot, I mean, I just always learned how to adapt of what I got. You know, I'm not a person that's ever gonna look at somebody else and say like, man, I wish I had this. I wish I had.
For sure.
Like, no, that person got that. You don't know what they had to do to get through that. You don't know what they got to do to pay all this off or anything. I just know what I got at my table, and that's all I'm worried about.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna deal and do with however I want to in the best possible way to make sure that not only the vision come to life, but make sure that all my people around me eat, because that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You know, you take care of your people gonna take care of you.
Come on.
I'm a firm believer in that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You feel me? I don't just talk about that. A lot of people talk the talk, but they don't really walk the walk. Like, they daily is not reflecting that. You know, I'm quick. I'll be honest. I'm quick to really open up sometimes. Well, in the past, sometimes a little too much and be a little too hospitable. You know, but again, hit that brick wall a few times to learn how to adapt.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's not going to stop me from who I actually am still.
Right.
It just makes me have a little barrier.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that that's not me.
Still generous,
Exactly.
still giving, loving, you know, but with that extra side of discernment.
Exactly.
You know, and that's Bible too, bro. The scriptures tell us to be meek as doves, but wise as serpents. You know, because we out there like sheep amongst wolves.
Exactly.
You feel me? And we could be loving and kind and all this other cute stuff, right? It don't take away from our generous nature. But at the same time, God told us, he's like, hey, bro, listen, like you ain't out there. It ain't playtime.
Exactly.
You know, the enemy's out there to steal, kill, and destroy, especially when you got a vision that's going to save people, impact lives, help break barriers and break chains off people's lives. You think the enemy really gonna sit back and just let you do good?
At all.
You think folks, like I told somebody this earlier today, and I was like, bro, like if you are LeBron, like there's a reason they triple team, quadruple team this dude. It's because he's a threat.
Exactly.
So you think that if you got something, a gift as valuable as yours, that the enemy gonna sit back and just let you do what you got to do?
Come on, preach to him.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if you wasn't doing nothing, bro, the enemy ain't worried about you.
Exactly.
You know? That's the easiest way to get the enemy off your back.
If you just sit back.
Yeah.
And be complete. I'm telling you, right.
Yo, but anyway, man, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting down with my homie Dakarai Akil, you know, legendary. I'm gonna go ahead and say it, right? 29 years old, legendary producer, actor. He's got a new movie out called The Hooper, which will be on Tubi shoot in a matter of days, if not now, by the time you hear this. We have just talked about the struggles of what it's been like to get from point A to point B. When we come back, we are going to talk about the movie, the inspiration, the vision, and what it took to pull it off. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Still Save Show, where we break down the breakthrough with some of your favorite influencers who have some of the coolest, most inspiring stories of change. And man, I have been chopping it up with Dakarai, producer, actor extraordinaire, who's got a new movie out called The Hooper. And bro, like, you blew my mind, dog. Like, it's coming from a very, very personal space when you talk about the struggles and the journeys of entrepreneurship and leaving your job. I still remember it like it was yesterday. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I know that there's so many people out there who aspire to start a business or switch up careers. Sometimes it might not even be start a business, bro. Yeah. Sometimes folks just want to switch up a career. Exactly. Go back to school. You know, and you made that shift with courage, with bravery. But like you said before we went to the break, is that it didn't come without struggle. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But out of that struggle came The Hooper. Exactly. Like, bro, like this movie, dog, tell me about it, man, because I'm super excited. You got a couple of my friends in the movie. Yeah. Dog, you brought me some snacks, dog. Yeah, you brought me some snacks. So I hope y'all don't mind me snacking and smacking in the mic, but I'm definitely gonna open up these joints. But talk to me about the movie, man.
Yeah, so The Hooper, it's a 90s based film that follows a high school basketball star whose life is threatened by the results of the biggest game in his career. So we have a sports, crime, thriller, drama with a spice of comedy, you know, to round it out. But it's a story I like to tell people. It's called The Hooper for a reason. It more so follows the hooper and not just basketball in general. It's not really following a basketball team, but a basketball player. Because at times we see basketball players' performances and we just think, man, they hadn't been in the gym or they triggering off, they doing this, but you don't know what they could be going through off the court. Man. And this is kind of a dramatized with some elements of true events. I ain't gonna say what, because after you watch the movie, you're like, yo, what was true?
Yeah, of course. Now we're gonna be like, oh man, hold on, Best Man Holiday coming through. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But it has those elements of truth, but I also wanted to fictionalize a real character to show you how the person that you're watching, you never know what this person can be going through. Right. Just think about leading scorer. You know, just think about LeBron. We were talking about him before. You think that every single day that he steps out on that court, everything is just peaches and cream. You know, I mean, you're talking about a man who is damn near in his last years. Not only that, he got a whole family to think about. Not only that, businesses, so many different elements that require more than just 1% of your mind. Because basketball is 90% mental.
Come on.
You know, and that's the challenges that I really want to talk about in the Hooper, that it is 90% mental. So we see this kid, and it opens up with, wow, what is he going through? Yeah. So time we see him always thinking, pondering. And then as you're watching throughout the movie, you start seeing, oh, this is why. Oh wow, it is like it's a real story, you know. Yeah. I love to add an element of mystery to keep the viewers, you know, watching, anticipate their own ending before they see it and thinking, because it's not something that you're gonna just guess off the bat.
Right.
I don't like those type of movies. I like movies where you can sit through and you're really trying to guess like what's really gonna happen
plot
next.
Twists
Exactly.
Exciting.
Exactly. And we have some great actors who brought this to life. I mean, right here in our backyard, Houston, Texas, we definitely have the talent that has been getting overlooked. Some have been getting into other positions where they're starting to get that shine and recognition. But I feel like everyone from the lead all the way to the extras, everyone, they gave me their all, and I can't thank them anymore.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because especially with the resources I had, and I mean, you got to let them know that I directed it, I wrote it, I was the lead character. I had to do, you know, set design, do so much different things. I had so many different hats that I'm wearing. So the fact that I was doing that and I had a team to actually fall on to help me do the things that required, you know, more attention. Because even though I wore all these hats, I couldn't have done this film by myself.
Oh, for sure.
You know, my lady was my first AD. She stayed up with me all-nighters, making schedules, trying to figure out, you know, certain people's, you know, time restraints and just trying to get a whole film into 8 days.
The plans canceled, or folks calling. I'm sure you had a couple phone calls. Was like, hey, bro. You know, I already know how that goes. Like, people overlook that a lot, but that's a headache in and of itself.
No, it is. But honestly, I feel like I have friends that, my true friends, that they genuinely know. You know, whenever I'm in work mode, they know, okay, he up to something. He gonna rock with us whenever everything is done. Because I like to execute. I don't like to just finish. I like to execute. And this is something that required a lot of hands-on attention. You know, from the smallest details. I mean, I went from the wardrobe to the set designs to the colors that different characters wear. Like, everyone had their own different color. And you may not notice it until you actually see the movie. Even with the color grading that my boy Deontay did. Nick Brimmy, he edited the film. Even the music soundtrack.
Oh, for sure.
You know, we got some greats on there. I mean, shout out to my boy Biggs. He got one of the most bumping songs on there. Him, my boy EJ, who's out in Atlanta, who's actually from Triple D. He got a couple songs in there. I got a lot of friends that have great music that helps flow with the story as well. My boy John Patrick. He, I mean, we got so much different art inside this one picture. That's why it's so pivotal to me.
Come on.
You know, it not only tells a story, but it paints it. And you're sitting there for the ride the whole time.
So where did this come from? Like, where did this idea, this vision, because when you talk about it, you're so passionate about it, right, bro? Where did this, you know, this vision come from, dog?
Yeah, so truthfully, originally the movie wasn't going to be fictionalized. It was going to be a nonfiction that was going to be based on my senior year in high school.
Okay.
Well, push come to shove, when you don't have a lot of this,
come on,
lack of resources, sometimes you can't do certain things. So I know that my school was okay with it, but certain people within the district, they didn't have, you know, okays. They didn't want the name to be associated. They want students to be associated and so much. So I had to make an audible. I'm like, how can I make a 2012 film interesting without doing the actual school I went to about the actual story? Let me take this real story, put into a fictional setting.
Come on.
And paint it from there. So I took my character and put him in the 90s.
Got you.
I went
It's
from
like, hey, what would Dakarai be like in the 90s?
It is not exactly right.
This is interesting, dog. First of all, let's
You
talk
feel
about
me?
the attire. Let's start there. No,
exactly. No, to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
the most noticeable thing in the film.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Blade who did it for me. I got the juice cut.
Yeah.
Specifically for the film, and I did that. I mean, I'm a bit of a method actor. When I go into my acting, no matter how big or small the role is, I want to go all out with my appearance. I don't want people to look at the film and like, man, I'm seeing Dakarai all over. Like, I want them to see a different me every time they see me.
Why the 90s though?
Man, 90s.
I mean, I love the 90s. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the 90s.
I have so much inspiration from the 90s, from Spike Lee to F. Gary Gray, you know, from He Got Game, Above the Rim. You know, these things really sparked that, you know. So it's to a point where I was like, we haven't seen this in a while.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't seen this. It's something original, and it's something that will be very nostalgic as well.
Oh, for sure.
Why not do this, especially in our own city? You know, because even with the school, since I couldn't get my school, ended up being able to get the Houston Black Arts Museum, which is right by Lost and Found, for those who don't know. Very pivotal history. One of the first black schools in Houston, Texas.
Come on.
I actually got to put this in my film. That was very pivotal to me.
Oh, for sure.
And the guy that runs it, he was like, man, just make sure to give us a shout out. That's all I want. And I said, I'll give you more than that.
Come on.
You know, I'm going to bring some traction into here, because when you walk through the halls, she can even tell you got chills, because it's so much history. It's from 1865. You know, they paint this whole picture. And the fact that we actually got to walk these same halls and put this, because the school name that I put in the Hooper was Dunbar. Now people like, is there a Dunbar in Houston? That I don't know. The reason why I used Dunbar High School was because it was actually the first African-American high school in the United States.
Really?
So I wanted to pay homage to that. I'm big on paying homage to my people.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just so much small details that you may or may not see. You know, I got Tupac art in there because Tupac was very influential from music on to even the film. I mean, honestly, he was one of the biggest reasons him, Leo, and Denzel why I even wanted to be in this spot right now.
Yeah.
Because seeing how Pac transformed, I mean, Pac was very talented.
Oh, come on.
You know, as an actor. And people don't realize, I've seen damn near every
the
single.
focus tends to be more so on his music career, right? But they sleep on like his poetry, his writing,
his poetry,
his acting.
Yes.
Which is something I love about you too, man. Like, you take this serious. This ain't no game for you. This isn't like, oh man, I got caught up, I got this role, like I'm super excited. Like, there is an art and a science to acting as well.
Exactly.
Right? I dabbled, right? I would not dare discredit the profession and be like, oh yeah, I'm an actor. Like, nah, I did it in high school, right? But I did it long enough to know that it's serious.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what you do, man. How do you prepare for these roles, man?
Man, to be honest, I have a lot of different techniques where I go. I don't have an acting coach. I used to go to certain acting coaches. I mean, acting was a minor in college for a while. And I told you I did a lot growing up, but outside of that, I never really had an acting coach. So the way that I prepare myself, I get the script and I look at myself in the mirror and I literally just practice and recite these lines. And I recite them until I can't recognize myself, you know, because I don't want to, if I can recognize myself, then that means that somebody else, another viewer who I'm trying to adapt to be a target audience, they can recognize me. I want it to be to a point to where, you know, I have a film out right now called The Season. It's on Amazon Prime. And you already know about Dirty Third. And then you got the Hooper. These are three different characteristics, three different.
Because we've all seen actors out there before, like every movie they in, it's like, that's the same
character. That's the same character. Exactly.
Bro, you just yourself in a different.
Exactly.
So I know exactly what you're talking about.
So the way that I prepare though, I try not to mentally get to certain points, because there was a time before where if I go method too hard, it could really affect my surroundings.
Man, I've heard of that, man.
Because especially if it's something too deep, like a lot of actors, we write down a character's background and history.
Right. Right.
Because when you get a character, you're not just reading lines, you're actually bringing somebody to life.
Even if like that stuff isn't mentioned or displayed in the movie itself. Because I remember a couple of roles I had to do. I would create these fabricated histories that aren't even in the movie.
Not even in the movie.
But it's like, what school did he go to? Or
exactly.
did he have a girlfriend or a wife or a divorce? You know, it wasn't in the script, but it was like, where did this come from? Like, this person didn't just jump out into the movie in the 90s. Like, they were born, they went through adolescence, they had, you know, parents, or maybe they didn't. Were they on? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, what did they like? Did they like basketball? Did they like food? Did they da 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 da?
Exactly.
So like you create these scenarios.
I create them just like even mine. I mean, even though I wrote this story, I still had to create this. Even when I was reading, after I was done, I said, "This is dope," but how I'm gonna bring this to life? You know.
So do you ever? I know this is gonna sound weird. Do you ever not break character in real life? Like, do he ever come home and still be? Do you ever come home and still be in character and be like, boy, you better shit, like, you know what I'm saying?
I'll be honest. Sometimes it could be. It just depends on the character roles,
right?
But I'll be honest. I have a debriefing moment where I can get myself out of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes that could just require me. Like, for example, she flew out to Atlanta to come for me when I was doing one of the hardest films that I did that's about to be in the film festival circuit. It's called Perpetrators in Government Systems. And it was my first.
Just the title alone sounds
deep. Always deep. I play a lawyer. I don't even want to get more into detail. When y'all see it, y'all gonna see it. But it was a very challenging role because it was the first time I had to actually cry on cue, on camera. And
why is that like the epitome or the definition of an actor? It's like, hey, can you cry?
Man,
can you cry? And I've seen 50 do it. I've seen a lot of great actors do it.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's a skill within itself. I'll be honest. And a lot of times that skill comes from a lot of trauma.
Sure.
Because you have to push yourself not only in if you don't put yourself in that place of that character, you probably put yourself in a place that made you feel the way that character is feeling. So that takes you on a trip within itself.
Yeah.
You know, so it's to a point to where you might get into a mindset where you cannot shake. Like, you're just thinking about that memory over and over. Yeah. And it's hard for it to, like, I got a friend, brother of mine, Marvin. We did a film called Next Lifetime. And a lot of people don't know that film at the end was very emotional. And all of us had to really break down some type of way. And he could not break it after they yelled cut. And you could feel how real it was, even when you see it on screen. So whenever the audience sees it, sometimes that's not acting, that's real. Somebody went to a place of realness to give you that very real feeling. That's why you're crying real tears right now.
Yeah.
You know, even in Perpetrators in Government System, whenever I had to cry on camera, people saw real tears because it came from a real spot. I had to think about something that made me go there, and that was the first time.
Yeah. So you know what I'm getting ready to ask you.
Oh, yeah.
You already know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, where is that moment, if you don't mind sharing?
Man, I was bullied a lot growing up.
Yeah.
Be honest. And a lot of times, a lot of people don't, like, this is what really built me to be so resilient. And people say, man, why you always seem like you always got that, you know, because there's times where, I mean, so before we moved, I bounced around from school to school. Used to get jumped from time to time. It was just a lot of traumatizing feelings that I had. And then whenever I moved, it wasn't physical abuse. It was mentally, emotionally, you know, because I had a gap. You know, I used to be ashamed of it. They used to talk about my name.
Bro, it's always the little thing. Kids are cruel, dog.
It was the little things, but it was to the things to where I didn't know why I was so passionate about certain things. And I used to go by a nickname, which is why people wonder, why do you go by Dakarai Akil, not your name? See, my full name Dakarai Akil Henderson, but I only go by Dakarai Akil because I ran for my name for so long. Dakarai means one that brings happiness. Akil means intelligent one, wise one. And I'm like, why am I running from such a powerful name when others don't understand? You feel me? People are always going to fear what they don't understand.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you fear it, you make fun of it. You try to throw some dirt on it. You try to talk bad about it because you don't know how to accept that energy that you're seeing, something so powerful. And once I started realizing that, and I started realizing the people around that realized that and started gelling to them, that's whenever my life started uplifting more, because a lot of times your surroundings, the reason why you're in your surroundings is the people that you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Not even knowing that. Like, for example, you're trying to get support from an associate, not realizing they're associate, not a friend. Because for the longest, I mistaked associates and friends. You know, just because they go out and can split a tab with you, just because, you know.
Shoot, half the time they don't even do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me find some associates who split the tab.
Man, it's just to a point to where you got to understand who your real friends are. And it's nothing personal. It's just facts. Like,
right.
Birds of a feather. And I started looking at my life like an elevator. You know, I stay in a high rise, right? When I get on the elevator on the first floor, there's gonna be more people coming in on the elevator with me on the first floor than who gets off with me at my final destination.
True.
I started looking at my life like that. There's gonna be people that come in and go out because everyone is not equipped to go to the next level. That's okay.
That's okay if they just there for a season.
Exactly.
Sometimes we be trying to hold on to folks for
longer
than they're supposed to be. You know
I'm a victim of it.
Bro, you and me both.
Because I got my mama heart at times. My mama, Deborah Henderson, shout out to my mama. I wouldn't be here without her. And again, my father. But it's just to a point to where she showed me, she always had this big heart. And I was like trying to give people second chances. And with me, I gave people second, third, fourth, fifth, six chances. And I had to learn the hard way. And people wonder why I'm so cutthroat now. It's not that I'm cutthroat. I just had to protect my energy and what I pretty much channel my energy to, because you become what you focus on.
Yeah.
And if you focus on something that's not really tending to your garden, like Will Smith said, feeding your fire,
come on,
it's just gonna die. And you're gonna be wondering why I'm so depressed. And I'm there's times where I'm in a section depressed as hell. We got bottles, we got all of this, we got this going on. I'm sitting there like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I doing? This ain't me. This I don't even feel like I'm in a genuine spot right now.
Yeah.
And to fast forward into being with a select circle, but being able to bring something like this to life with a small crew, less than $40,000, only 8 days. It took a village to do that. And most people need more people than what we needed to get this done, but we got that done. And that's just to a point to where surrounding yourself with like-minded. Iron sharpens iron. You know?
Yeah, no, real talk.
And it's just to a point to where I started realizing all of those aspects whenever we're talking about growth.
Yep.
When you talk about growth, you have to be real with yourself. I had to be real with myself first before I started making any type of changes. Before I started Xing out anybody, before I started doing things, I got to look at the man in the mirror, because before I face the world, you got to look at that person first. And I'll be real with you. Everybody cannot say this, that they're perfectly fine, even to this day, even when you working yourself. I know that I still got a lot of work to do, but I know that I'm way further along than where I started.
Come on.
And I know I'm way further along than where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just to a point to where it's like, I just know that it takes time.
Yeah.
This journey, it was just a process.
Yep.
It was a long process. I listened to a lot of Nip. Nip definitely helped me a lot.
That will get you in the zone, dog. That will definitely help you get through.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Man.
Because we get to a point to where we in such a carbon copy world where we see an app and we try to compare our life with somebody else's highlight reel.
Yep.
You know, it took somebody 1,000 tries to get that one picture that you looking at. Man. You know how long it took somebody to put all that video reel together that you see.
Yep.
And that's not even highlighting the whole day that they went through. You know, so it's just to a point to where living in the now and actually focusing on yourself and your craft and building. I know that this is my first, and I know my first is a lot better than a lot of my past.
Yeah.
Because I had to grow, and my next is definitely gonna be better than this.
Come on, man.
But it's just acknowledging and being in the now, and actually, not only that, being thankful for being able to have these type of opportunities too.
100%, man. 100%, man. Well, I definitely can't wait till it drops. I can't wait to see it. There's two more things I got for you, bro.
What's that?
Aside from entertainment, aside from it being incredibly fun to watch, what is something that you want your audience or people who see this movie to take away when they see it?
Simple. I got some things. The biggest element that I have in there that might go over people's heads, so I'm just gonna put it out there right now. It's okay to be different.
Come on.
There's a reason why every character in this film is different, because it's okay to be different. It's okay to not stick in with the crowd. Why do we want to flock and be the same? Like, there is no fun. Like, live within your truth. Stop. The reason why a lot of us are feeling as down as we are, we're trying to be something that we're not meant to be, because we're thinking that it comes with something that we see, but not realizing everything that comes with that. Why not be yourself? With me, I've always been different. I'm fine with that. Years later, full circle, the same people that used to talk about me, the same ones say, hey, man, I can't wait till the Hoover come out. Yo, I can't wait. Hey, bro, hey, man.
Now I'm hot, they all on me.
Exactly.
Mike Jones said it best.
For real, though. But it's okay to be different. Like, for real. Like, and to never give up. Never give up, no matter how hard. We went through challenges every day, didn't we? Every single day. I'm talking about from day 1 to day 8. There was something that happened. The first day, we didn't even get to finish the ending because we was trying to shoot certain scenes. The light shut off on us because we shot. You remember that? We shot over Tremor Park, something like that. But it was a part
somewhere out there near.
So the light shut off in the middle of our production, and we like, damn. And in my mind, I can't react the way that I originally want to, because at the end of the day, even though I'm talented, I'm also the director. So everybody is looking at me like, okay, what do we do next?
They looking to you.
All I said was,
for the answers.
Hey, all right, y'all, great first day. We're going to have to get it on day 8. We got 8 more days to go. Let's get it.
I love
Stay
it.
positive.
I've had similar situations happen. I DJ a lot of weddings, right? So my first business was a wedding entertainment firm. And I remember the worst thing that could ever happen, bro, the power goes out. In the middle, like dance floor, they jumping. I'm getting it, right? Everybody having a good time, and the power goes out. Like it's like, what are you gonna do, right? You grab the mic and you just start talking to the crowd.
Exactly.
You know, like at that point, I just got to rely on my emceeing abilities, right? Like y'all got it so turned up in here that y'all done made the power go out. Like y'all better give yourselves a round of applause. Like you know what I'm saying? So you just run with it.
Nah,
you
for
run
real.
with it. That's where the true professionals shine. Is in adversity.
Adversity then built a lot. I mean, shoot, my biggest adversity challenge is when I went to Sam Houston State University. My first year, I had the red shirt. Had to set out a whole year. And at that time, it got to me, but I just channeled all that energy, working out, building up. Next thing you know, I left the all-time lead in three-point shooter in school history, top 10 scorer in school history, left a pivotal imprint, not only on the court, but off the court, because that's where the Hooper, the filmmaking Hooper, originally started too.
Come on. Man, boy listed off some records. Stats.
Hey.
It's going down. Man, I gotta ask you this last question, because I do this with everybody that comes around. As a man of faith myself, who my faith has guided me, has kept me in moments where I wanted to give up, but my faith in God has been like, nah, you can't give up. Right? You yourself, who have been through the ups and the downs, and in the entertainment industry, bro, is fickle.
Oh my goodness.
It's fickle, volatile. It's full of, it's like, why would anybody choose this industry, right?
Exactly.
But tell me this, man, how has your faith in God kept you and propelled you to the success that you're now experiencing?
Honestly, it's always the time where I run from him that he makes me see him more. So it's just to a point to where it's like, I have no choice but to include him in everything that I do. I mean, sure, I have to keep the faith. My woman name is Faith, So it's just
if
so.
You didn't need a reminder. Every day you wake up.
Every day I wake up, you better have faith right there. And it's just to a point to where, but to be real, she the one that really gave me. She always gives me that encouragement. You know how they say, behind every strong man. That's true. Because there's times when she done heard all of my stories, my listen out. It's to a point to where it's times where certain things might get to me. Forget that. You did this, you did that, you did this. You never know where this gonna go. You never know where this gonna go. You gotta let this. I mean, she's the one that's really motivating me behind closed doors. And I feel like all of us really need that. But it's to a point to where not only that, also us praying.
Come on.
Because every time that we're praying, it's to a point to where that just strengthens that foundation, not only within relationships, but it also the foundation of your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, because that's kind of like whenever you're building a house, it's almost like putting that pace down and making sure that everything molds together so it can build up, you know, putting them seeds down and putting that water in and letting the sun just let that plant grow up. That's pretty much what we have to do. We have to continue to pray and have that faith, because even though we can't really see it, just like we can't see air. Yeah. We can't see air. Science can't feel it, but you can feel it. You know, it's the same thing. I mean, and every time that I've relied on faith, I've never lost.
Come on.
Never lost out on it. I can look back from when I told you when I left my job, I relied on faith. Still stood on 10 toes, even when things got rocky. Still stood on 10 toes, kept that faith strong, still came through. So
yeah. And the Bible even says that, man, when man would leave us or forsake us, he said he'll never leave us or forsake us, man. You know, if he did it before,
exactly,
he'll do it again.
Exactly,
he'll do it again, man. I love it, man. I often do that myself, bro. I will recount the times where God has delivered me. Because there's been some dark days, bro. Like again, the evictions, the repos, the deaths that I've experienced in my family, the illnesses myself. And every day I wake up, I still got breath in my lungs.
Exactly.
You know, I still got a roof over my head. My kids are good. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when the enemy tries to creep into my mind and tell me that I'm not good enough, or you can't do that.
Exactly.
Like, what you mean? That ain't never been done before. Like when those thoughts of depression try to creep back in, I always remind myself that he's never failed me, right?
Exactly.
And he never will.
Exactly.
And he never will, man. So I appreciate you, bro, for coming to hang out with me.
Man, thank
and
you.
Reminding me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know my listeners love it. Everybody out there listening is loving it. But me, bro, I appreciate you for reminding me of the faith that I need to keep going, dog. So do me a favor, man. For everybody out there tuning in, how can we check out the movie? How can we rock with you? How can we follow you, man? Make sure we know everything, dog.
For sure. So the movie is gonna be coming out on Tubi. It's gonna be free. You don't even have to.
We love free.
You don't even have to make an account. All you have to do is get the app, and then whenever it drops, type in the Hooper. If it's not in the most popular, then type it in. Go watch it. Watch it 2-3 times. Go tell your mama, your daddy, your auntie, your uncles, your kids, everybody. I mean, I feel like it has something for everybody. If you want to keep updates with the actual film on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you can find us at the Hooper Movie. That's the Hooper Movie. And you can find me on social platforms, Dakarai Akil 3D. That's DAKARAI AKIL 3D on Instagram. Follow me right there.
What's up with the 3D? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so 3D, that was an alias. That was an alias my dad gave me back in 6th grade. Once I told you when I made that transition of sticking with basketball to hooper, that's where 3D was born. I was always number 3. I was always known for shooting threes deep. And
come on, baby.
So,
hey, we're going to have to get it in one day, dog. I think you still got it. I know I still got the jumper. My stamina is gone. I'm 36, 35, 36. I can't even remember how old I am, dog. That's how old I am. I think I'm 36. Yeah. But my stamina is gone. But you better guard me from half court.
Oh, say less.
I'm just letting you know right now. Do not give me the ball. Anywhere beyond the 3-point line, it's going down.
But the other part that people don't know, outside of that, I transitioned as actually my production company, 3D Productions, nonprofit. And means I'm anything but one-dimensional.
Come on.
So I'm just living with that, within that truth.
Man, ladies and gentlemen, well, you heard it first. Dakarai Akil has really helped us break down the breakthrough from entrepreneurship to making movies. The Hooper will be out soon. Make sure you check it out. It is going down. Yes, I got some snacks. We about to go snack here in a little bit.
Got the snacks.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for rocking with me, man. I really, really do. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. It's been a privilege. And ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap. We have literally broke down the breakthrough. I appreciate y'all for tuning in here on the Still Safe.